Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Speak That Talks. As always, I am so excited to come before all of you with another edition of an unscripted, unfiltered, and uncensored conversation. So, thank you all for tuning in. Today's conversation is going to be really empowering, really fun, and I just have a feeling that lives are going to be positively impacted today. So pull out your phones, tag people, let everybody know that the Thursday edition of Speak That Talks is ready to go. So, as always, to virtually interact and virtually join in, I ask that you all go to the Speak That Movement page on YouTube as well as Facebook. A little bit later, we're going to tell you about the website that I just showed. But I just hope that you all can virtually connect with my special guest today that I'm so excited to bring to the platform today. So again, if you want to virtually interact with us, go to the Speak That Movement page on Facebook and YouTube so that we can pull you into the conversation, so that we can answer any questions that you may have, and we can address any comments that you bring up. And again, thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. Let's virtually connect right now. Let's have an empowerment social hour. So add your name, add your city, add your thoughts in the comments, because we are going to address them, because this conversation is about all of us. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Tiara M. Tucker, and I am the creator and the CEO of Tiara PR Network, LLC, which is my PR boutique firm located in Dallas, Texas. And I'm also the mother of Speak That Movement. And Speak That Movement is my effort to empower, uplift, and connect business professionals and believers via inspiring guest speakers like the one that I have today, and the ones that I've had the past 14 weeks of Speak That Talks. Other efforts of Speak That Movement include my custom novelties, which you can find on my website, as well as my engaging social media pages and events like this, the Speak That Talks, which has been airing every Thursday since the first Thursday in May. So thank you to everybody who's been tuning in every single week for this live show. So if you want to learn more about me or Speak That Movement or Tiara PR Network, just check out the website, www.tiaraprnetwork.com. And if you have any websites out there that you want us to check out, then add it in the comments, because I'd love to share your information with others. So without further ado, I just want to bring up and introduce today's guest. So for those of you who have been tuning in every week, there's a new special guest speaker. I'm talking about empowerment speakers, inspirational speakers, authors, podcast owners or producers, life coaches, health and wellness experts, you name it. Every week we've had somebody, and I'm so excited about today's guest. But I want to introduce her in a special way. I'm going to play this video, and I think that you'll have a better idea of who she is.
So if this is something that can inspire your sister, inspire anyone's sister or daughter or granddaughter or niece, that's what it's all about for me. Having them find that inner strength, having them being able to rely on themselves, and also speak up for themselves. and having something that children can actually connect with and see themselves in the cover and hear the way that they sound in the stories and make them excited about science and about traveling, about math, about history.
So it's a celebration of different cultures. Do you think that we need that right now? Do kids need that in schools?
Absolutely.
Everybody's different.
It's time to get kids excited about literacy, excited about reading. How about those nights where you just bundle up in your bed with a flashlight and you can't put the book down?
I have a kid like that, and it's wonderful.
Isn't that the best? To get them excited. Get them
excited.
And that's been the wonderful thing about Nyakana and the Pharaoh's Throne.
And there you have it. Today's special guest speaker, Miss Nyakana.
Good evening. Good evening. Tuning in. How are you, Tiara?
I am doing well. How are you, beautiful?
I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. And I love that video. So when I saw that video, I said, you know what? This is going to be the best introduction in the Speak That Talks history, because I'm going to pull up the video.
I appreciate you. Thank you, sis. Thank you.
How do you feel when you watch that video about yourself?
You know, I was actually watching it backstage right now thinking, wow, you know, who would have thought that this girl with a crazy idea to write a children's book where I have a Black heroine leading the way, who was rejected time and time again from every single publisher who thought my book wouldn't matter, and just looking at all of the results and all the impact that it's been able to make one reader at a time, it's just overwhelming. But it was really beautiful to take a minute and just look back at that.
That's good. So Speak That Talks, welcome today's guest speaker. So the video said a lot about you. You're an author of an amazing book that I know you'll talk about in a moment. You're a speaker. You're an entrepreneur. You're a singer. I saw your YouTube videos out there. So tell everybody, introduce yourself to the Speak That Talks world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. My name is Nyakana. As Tiara just mentioned, I'm a children's book author of Nyakana and the Pharaoh's Throne, which is actually a children's book series. I am also a motivational speaker. I love taking my time and motivating our youth, uplifting them, and really reminding them of their worth and of their value. And of course, I'm a business owner and entrepreneur, so I have my hands in a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, I have created the Nyakana movement, which is really about empowering individuals, both our youth and adults, and really everyone around the world, to really live purposefully in their passions.
I love it. I love it. So I love when people talk about when they're, doing what they love, because there's this glow. There's this level of excitement, and I see it with you, and I've seen it with all the guests, where that's when you know you're walking in your purpose. And that was the segment throughout July. We talked about walking in your purpose. So I sense that you're walking in your purpose right now.
Oh, I am, sis, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. You know, they say if you will do something for free, you know that's your passion, right? This is what keeps me up at night. I may not look like it, but I sleep like maybe 3-4 hours, because there's just so much that I want to do. And I know there's so much of a reach that Nyakana, more than just the book, because it is more than a character, it is more than a book, it really is a movement and a mission. And it is my life's passion to really be able to help others find that strength within themselves, and especially our youth, because they're the ones that are going to transform this world.
That's true. So you know what? Let's jump right into it. So Speak That Talks is all about talking about hot topics. So let's talk a little bit about your book.
Yes, Nyakana. Okay, I have her right here. So Nyakana and the Pharaoh's Throne. So it follows my self-assured heroine, Nyazuri, and her best friends, Miguel and Hugo Gonzalez, and they time travel with this use of a mystical map, and they go back in history, and they help other children overcome any sort of obstacles that they may have. And in the very first book, Naya and the Gonzalez twins actually go back to ancient Egypt, and they help Prince Tut, who becomes a child pharaoh. He becomes a child king overnight. He's only 8 years old. Most people don't know that he was only a child when he became a ruler. And that's very fundamental for several reasons. One, it gives children a reminder, one, to know their history. Right? Understand where you come from, because there's actually very little history that is taught in our school systems these days, especially when it comes to Black culture or any culture of color, right? It's more indoctrination, more of what you want a child to know versus what they need to know that will really liberate their minds and give them that inner strength to understand that their history goes beyond. It stretches so beyond millennia. We are the first astronomers, the first philosophers, the first artists, the first podcasters and hosts and authors, right? So really understanding where you come from. And also, secondly, it's important for children, and why I brought it back to ancient Egypt in the first place was for them to know that they can succeed in anything that they want to do in life. And their age shouldn't actually restrict them from doing so. If we have history of child rulers that were able to manage kingdoms and empires, guess what? That means you have that same quality and that same level of worth and value. You know, I grew up in not the best part of town. I actually grew up in the housing projects in Stamford, Connecticut. They don't exist anymore because they knocked them all down and, gentrified it and made it all fancy. But, it taught me a lot. It definitely gave me like a hustle and grind mentality. And kind of like I touched on lightly, regardless of all the no's that I had gotten in my career, I just pushed ahead because in my school, no one ever came and visited us. No one came as a special speaker or guest, anything, and told us that we amounted to anything, that we had worth. It was more of us being kind of pushed through the system, getting on to the next grade level because we were so low performing. There were so many kids that, were failing, but were just pushed on to the next grade level. There wasn't that much time invested in us in the sense of building up our self-esteem and letting us know that our zip code does not define our future. So that is something that has never left me. That is why I do what I do now. And especially with Nyazuri and the Pharaoh's Throne, my focus has really been to bring the book into the curriculum. So I have created a specific curriculum and I adjust it with every school that I work with. That way I know that my book is not only being read, but it is being taught in the classroom. We're making sure that we're talking about representation and diversity in the classroom. If you think about it, Tiara, the classroom is usually the first place a lot of students even come into contact with someone that doesn't look like them or speak the same language as them. So what a great opportunity. We may be in quarantine right now, but eventually when we get to a new normal, or even if we stay in this world for a while and it's all virtual, you will still be in a classroom setting. And what a great way to ensure that we have proper representation, that children they have an opportunity to learn self-love because they're reading something from characters that look like them and sound like them and are going to interesting parts in the world that maybe they had heard of, but they were never taught because all we know is Black History Month, 28 days. We don't know the 365. We haven't been able to dive deep and dive beyond slavery and beyond civil rights. Not saying that the civil rights movement wasn't important, that there weren't fundamental leaders that came out of that. But what is our history beyond that? And understanding that, it roots you, it empowers you. And it's the most amazing transformational thing when I have a reader that comes up to me and says, she looks like me, or that looks like my mother, or they speak Spanish, or she speaks Swahili. I'm from this country, or my parents are from this country in Africa too. They feel transformed and it makes them want to read. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, because that literacy, that seed that's going to keep their imaginations alive, it's going to keep them creative. That's going to improve everything overall. So I am so thankful and grateful that I get to do what I love every day. Yes, you see the glow because I am passionate about it. And I can't let that younger version of myself down. It's something that has always stuck with me for life. And I'm continuing on the series. So Nyazuri and the Pharaoh's Throne was book number 1. Book number 2, I announced it a little bit earlier this year, Nyazuri and the Mayan Eclipse. So the venture continues. Yeah, I see you going to Yes, they actually go back. Naya and the Gonzalez twins, they go back to ancient Maya. So I'm continuing on the adventure. And there will be a lot of things that they end up learning. And right now I actually have pivoted a little bit because I also recently announced in She Magazine exclusively that I am finally creating the cartoon series of Nyazuri. So so this is very exciting. It's been a dream of mine for a few years now. And it's really to expand on representation and diversity. And now I'll be expanding it from just books to actual like digital content and media. So thank you. And thank you.
Congratulations.
But I'm very excited, and I'm going to keep pushing ahead because the kids need it. And some children who may not have that reading bug or love of reading just yet, they usually like cartoons. They usually like educational apps, hopefully. And this will be something that is educational, but also exciting because it'll be filled with adventure. So you'll be able to enjoy it at home, enjoy it in a classroom setting virtually, or, you know, in the actual classroom. It can be an educational resource, and it'll tie back in with the book. So I'm very busy these days, but that's Naya Zuri.
I love it. I love it. That, you know, first of all, I commend you. So congratulations and kudos to what you're doing. I heard so much in your response, you know, where you know, went to school and how your experience has played a role in the experience that you want to grant other people. You want to be the example that perhaps you didn't have back when you were in school. So I commend you for that. I love that you took an idea and you made it happen, right? So I just salute anybody, all of the visionaries out there, all of the creatives out there. Like, I salute you, because a lot of people, everybody has a thought, right?
Right.
But not everybody is bold enough, courageous enough, persistent enough, obedient enough, and disciplined enough to take that thought and make it a reality. So
in the same language, Tiara.
Yes.
It's a big thing. A lot of people ask me, well, how did you do this or how did you do that? And I usually say, I'm disciplined. Yeah. I'm disciplined. And you have to be consistently persistent. Every school that I contact does not just open the door. Sometimes I have to beat that door down. And once again, I just carry on my back that younger version of myself and every classmate that was in there with me, and knowing that I've got to do it for them. I've got to do it for them. I've got to do it for my kids, your kids, everyone's kids. Everyone deserves a fair chance of understanding their worth. And it was crazy because earlier in the year, I was at a school in the inner city in Hartford, Connecticut. And I had just finished up a writer's workshop with an all boys after school program. And I was doing some one-on-one with all the boys. And one of them walked up to me and was like, well, if you have kids, you know, what are you doing here with us? You're someone's kid too, and you matter. And his face, just his expression was as if no one has ever told him that he mattered. And we connected because no one ever told me that I mattered. So anyone that's tuning in, any young person, any older person, guess what? You matter. Your worth is infinity. You are limitless. You have the power to make anything that you want in life, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the situation, the location that you're born in, regardless of your background, your economic standing, your personal beliefs that maybe others may not understand. You have the power, you have the worth to transform your world and to transform this world. You are entitled to your own destiny. And we need to know your story. We need to know your skill. We need to know your passion. That is what it's all about. That's what the Naya Zuri way, and really living passionately and purposefully in your life. Naya Zuri actually means beautiful purpose in Swahili. And I did that on purpose to carry out this message. And that's probably what we'll jump into with the next hot topic. But that is what I go in and speak to the youth about and really uplift them and light that fire.
Yes. Like I had to just give you the stage on that one because
okay.
You were speaking life, and I said, we need to all hear this. So I
appreciate you, sis. I warned you. I said, I just go. I don't have any notes. I just speak. I just speak with the spirit. I appreciate you.
This is, as I say, this is unscripted. So we are flowing because this is energy. So I'm excited about this conversation today. So let me ask you a question here. We're going to talk a little bit more about the book. Yes. So let's talk about how you remain persistent. Mm-hmm. You know, were there days when you said, what am I doing? Why am I going after this dream? Talk a little bit more about that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that started in the very beginning when I was done with my manuscript and I had this great idea for a story, and I was submitting it to publisher after publisher after publisher, just knowing they would say, yes, this is the next, Harry Potter 2.0. We want this. We want this. And instead I was getting, no, thank you. Or we love the idea, but, your character is too urban. Or, oh, we love your idea, but we don't really like that they go back to Africa. Can they go to like California, or some strange suggestion that they had? Or, oh, we love your book, but it's just not for us. AKA it's just too Black. It's just too outside of what we do, because there is a very small percentage. It's about 10% of children's books are actually have any sort of multicultural content. And even less than that, maybe 5% or less, those books are even written by authors of color. So I already had the odds stacked against me. But once again, I took those no's and I said, you know what? I will figure out a way to get the story out there. I ended up self-publishing my book, not knowing anything what I was doing. And this was like 4 years ago. And I said, I refuse for this book to just be a book that stays on a shelf or that just stays on my website. I'm going to be consistently persistent. And instead of focusing on the sales, because it's not about the money, it's not about the revenue, it's about the impact, right? I just started contacting schools. And some schools were like, yes, we'd love to have you. We have a budget. And some schools were like, we would love to have you, but we don't have a budget. Okay. So in those cases, I would start calling nonprofits. I would start calling companies in the area and say, hey, would you be able to cover 25 books for Hoover School? That way we can make sure we get it in the classroom. Would you be able to cover 100 books to make sure that entire grade level would be able to have this book and go along with the curriculum? And they're saying, okay, sure, we'll do that. But what about you? What are you going to get out of it? I'm like, I'm not getting anything out of it. Profit-wise, I'm getting something out of it. Passionate-wise, I know that I'm now fulfilling that goal and that dream of making sure no child feels the way that I felt, to make sure that I'm changing that narrative for my child, your child, everyone's child. So I find a way to make it happen. And little did I know that by being consistently persistent day in and day out, and once again, just having that like grind and execution mentality, that the story would pick up. That now schools would be contacting me. Now media outlets would be contacting me. Now, individuals would be contacting me. And the Naya Zuri movement took off. So shout out to my Naya Zuri tribe. Shout out to the tribe, because they have been rocking with me for years and years and years, to the point where I have now been able to build this really into a movement. I re-released the first book, Naya Zuri and the Pharaoh's Throne, just this summer in June. And I actually released it on my own book imprint, Naya Zuri Books. So I'm now a publisher. In long-term goal, I will be publishing other works, children's books, that also highlight representation. Also for authors that may have gotten those no's that I did, but now I'll be able to change that narrative for them, give them the tools, and make sure that they get their stories out there, because our stories are important. We have value. We need to make sure that we are supporting our own.
I love it. Okay. So you're just so dope, right?
Oh,
Because what I'm hearing in your story is you didn't give up. You didn't give up.
No.
You didn't give up when you heard a no. You didn't just give in when you heard a yes. You had a bigger picture, and the bigger picture tied into your purpose of making a difference with the youth, making a difference with not only the youth, but I look at this is creating generational blessings, right? I'm all about creating generational blessings and breaking down generational curses, because now the people that you're reaching with your book, now they have something deposited in them. So then now they can go out, and when they become parents or adults or not even at that age, right? Now in their current state, they can now empower other people. So kudos to you for not giving up. And had you not have written the book, you wouldn't have published the book. And now you're a publisher, and now you're able to instill what you learned into other people who are ready to write and publish books.
There we go.
Look at all that.
Look at all that. Look at all that. Exactly. Thank you so much. And it's crazy, because I may have not seen all the steps in between, but I knew the point that I wanted to go to. So I just want to encourage anyone that has a crazy idea, or has a business idea, or maybe just want to make an impact in their community somehow, or change something about themselves, or maybe change something about their family, whatever the structure is. Don't give up, and don't feel that you have to see everything in between. We evolve, we transform, we change. And when it comes to like business and entrepreneurship as well, you may not have the entire thing outlined. You have your business plan, what you'd like to do, but sometimes you take a detour, right? Sometimes you have to go over things. Sometimes you have to go under things, and sometimes you have to go through things. And that's when you don't take those no's, right? Because not every door is locked. Sometimes you have to push. Right.
That's good. No, I believe that. And even with Speak That movement, it's about empowering people along their journeys of dream and goal realization. And along the journey, like you said, there will be roadblocks, there will be obstacles, there will be detours, but I believe that if we keep pushing through, sometimes what we thought was a detour or a closed door, we might have needed that because it's going to take us in another direction that we didn't even know that we should have went in. And that's the new journey that we're going on. So you got to keep pushing.
You have to keep pushing, most definitely. And like I said, you don't have to know all the steps in between. Nope. Just keep your vision set and know that regardless of anything that happens, as long as you keep your focus, your laser sharp focus, and you remain disciplined, you will get there. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid listen, if anyone offers me help, I'm definitely taking it. At the end of the day, and I love to network and I love to build up my own. I love to support creatives that are also looking to make change, looking to make impact. And anyone that knows me, if you ask, the first thing I usually say to them is, how can I support you? Because at the end of the day, it's not just about me. Anytime I have a win, I always tell everyone in my circle, like, this is for all of us. If I'm on some big platform, this is for all of us. I'm always going to include everyone. I'm always going to pull everybody up with me because I don't want to see anybody left behind, and we all should be advancing. If we're not progressing, then we're at a table of one. What was the point of it all? We need to make sure they're also pushing that needle for us culturally as a people. There shouldn't just be one business owner. There should be millions of Black and brown business owners that are keeping that dollar circulating in their communities, that are uplifting and building their own schools, their own neighborhoods, their own businesses, because we need to also look out for ourselves. We need to create that own 1%. How about having that ability to raise capital from our own instead of having to go to banks that are not supportive of us in our communities? Those are the type of transformation that I'm looking to make.
That's good. As I like to say, there is room for everybody to eat at the table.
Sis, I say the same thing. Yes. I'm going to clap for you on that because that's what it's about.
That is.
Yes.
Well, that was an awesome hot topic number one.
I feel like we kind of went somewhere, but
but that's good. I like that. So tell people real quick, how can they grab the book?
Yes, go to my website, please, www.ananyakana.com. If you go elsewhere, you will not get an exclusive autographed copy. So when you go to my website, put it in your cart, and then right in the notes section, you can put in the name of a child or name of individual or even a personal inscription that you want me to write, and I will make sure. Even if you don't put a personal inscription, I always dedicate the book to whoever I'm signing it over to.
All righty, everybody, get your book. I'll be ordering one. I have nephews, and I'm all about purchasing books. I have friends that have written books for kids, and if nothing else, they need to see the different books, the different options out there that they may not find at their local book fairs, but guess what? They will get them.
Most definitely. Thank you so much.
Yes. So let's move on to our second hot topic. But before we go there, I want to shout out people out there. My cousin is getting a book for her school.
Yes, thank you. Yusha Lawson, shout out to you.
Yes.
School content. I have resources on my website too that it can go along with lesson planning.
Yes. And shout out to folks. We have folks out here representing Illinois, my home state. We have people representing Texas. Shout out to everybody in Texas, my new state. I see people from the East Coast, West Coast. So thank you all for tuning in. It's not too late to ask some friends because we are about to move on to
friends. Share the link. We're about to dig into these hot topics. Thank you, Tiara. You are on fire.
Yes. All right, guys. Moving on to hot topic number 2. So I need you to do me a favor, Anna. I need you to give me a drum roll because we need to let people know. There we go. Hot topic number 2. Youth empowerment.
Youth empowerment. That's my jam.
Yes, right. It's like on your playlist.
That is my playlist. Over and every track is youth empowerment, women empowerment, youth empowerment, youth empowerment.
That's right. So let's talk about youth empowerment.
Yes.
You light up when I just put the hashtag out there. So tell everybody, why are you lighting up when you see youth empowerment?
Because I am all about my youth. As you heard from how we, touched into it lightly, the children are our future. I am a mother as well. I have 2 young children. And like I said, the school that I went to, no one ever really came and checked on us. No one ever came and really instilled that self-worth in us. So when I have the opportunity to take my book, go into the school, I'm not just doing like a traditional author visit, like, hello, let me read from chapter 3. Here's the glossary in the back of the book so you can learn and build your vocabulary. Yes, that's important. And I'll read an excerpt or two. But for the majority of the time, I'm like running in the hallways. I am surprising kids in their classroom, unless it's something that's organized, like in an auditorium, something like that. And I'm getting them excited about life. I'm getting them excited about the future. And I'm instilling in them what I like to call the fundamental truths of Nyakana.
Nice. I don't know. Are you getting book orders over there? Because
you know what? I may be. Is there dinging happening? I think there's dinging happening. Let me see.
Hey, dinging is a good thing, everybody. You see it for yourself in a live show.
The universe is telling me, I just turned that notification off. The universe is telling me, go, jump into those fundamental truths.
The universe is saying, order the book.
Order the book. Order the book. So we'll jump into it. So the first fundamental truth of Nyakana, and I know they're probably similar to some of your pillars, is don't chase your dreams, walk in your dreams. And you may say, what does that mean? Okay. So I tell children, like, your parents have probably always told you, think big or dream big or community. Okay, yes, dreaming big and thinking big is an important first step. Now, I want you to take that dream and I want you to think of what steps you need to take to actually take that dream and put it into action. I want you walking in that dream. If it's a business that you want to start because you're a kidpreneur, you're a kid entrepreneur, let's come up with that business plan. If it's something that you want to accomplish in your community, maybe a fundraiser, something that you want to start, let's figure out who you need to pull in as a resource to make it happen. Let's get a flyer together. Let's find a date and time. Actually take those ideas that you have and put them into action. Don't just keep them up here, right? So number 2 is always bet on yourself. Don't be afraid about outshining your cousin or your friend who has a similar idea or wants to do something like you want to do, or they're always challenging you, or maybe you don't think you're the best athlete, but they're the best athlete. Listen, no one else is going to believe in you until you believe in yourself. No one else is going to jump on that bandwagon until you are in the bandwagon and you are pushing and clawing and doing whatever you need to do to push it and pull it forward. Show us your passion. If you show the world your passion, believe me, they will get excited. They will take that flame, that fire that they feel from you, and they will ignite themselves and say, wow, Tiara's really doing something incredible here. I need to make sure I keep up with her. I need to make sure I support her. She's getting me so excited with her passion. Number 3 is never dim your light.
Speak on that one.
Yes, and I feel especially for our young girls and our young women, we tend to dim our light, almost have a little bit of a like submissiveness to us because we are afraid to outshine our boys and our men. We are afraid, for a lot of us have a lot of trauma as well, that those things are going to, they suppress us. They suppress that magnificence. But let me tell you something. Everyone is entitled to their own destiny. You are allowed to have your own dreams. No one else can take that away from you. This world is full of infinite possibilities. So you should not dim your light. You should rather radiate magnificently. Blind us, babies, blind us. That's what we want. Blind us, make us put those sunglasses on, because then we can pay attention and lock onto you, right? So never dim your light. Number 4 is overcome your fears. And there goes that dinging again. I apologize for that. It must be orders. I don't know. It's the universe.
We're going to say it's orders.
What's that?
We're going to say it's orders. So whenever you hear that ding, that means it's time to place your order, because she's going to sell out.
I'm going to sell out. I'm going to excel. I'm going to excel it. I'm going to sell out. So we're going to keep this going. Overcome your fears. Fear really does have a way of paralyzing you and stopping you before you even start. But something that I always remind the youth is that fear is not real. It's actually just in your mind. It's just in your mind. And guess what? You can control what's in your mind. It takes discipline, but you can control it. Because what you don't want to do is to continue to fear something and actually manifest it in a way in your life. Manifest it in the form of a person, manifest in the form of a problem or a thing. That's not what you want to do. Instead, you want to free yourself, control your mind, free yourself, and understand that the only difference between something actually happening and you thinking it is action. All you have to do is take action, and it can be done. And the final fundamental truth of Nyakana is nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible, everybody out there.
Nothing is impossible. That's right. Nothing is impossible. Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it cannot be done. You can be the first. I've been the first at a lot of things. People have tried to box me in and say, oh, no, you can't do this. You're just an author. Oh, no, you can't do this. You just have a children's book and you're not allowed to talk about this. Just read from the book. Don't speak. Or, we don't want to hear about things that matter politically or matter to the Black community. Just come in and do. Listen, nothing is impossible. You can be the first. Don't allow anybody to stop you. Don't allow anything to stop you. And understand that you have the ability and the worth and the strength and the know-how to really transform this world. So don't limit yourself, because your value really is infinity. It really is limitless. So that's what I do, girl. That's what I do. Yeah. And I'm so excited when I light that fire in the youth and I can just see their faces shining, and I can tell that their spirits, I can feel their energy and their frequency, and I can tell that they're feeling their value. Either they knew some of this and they've heard some of this before, and if so, that's beautiful. But I found that time and time again, they have not. So I know that walking out of that room, even if they don't have a copy of my book, and maybe we were only able to get a few copies for the library, at least I know that I was able to give them that Naya Zuri, just that fight, something internal that they can hold on to and grab onto. Because I always tell them, write it down, put it on a Post-it, so you can put it on the mirror, put it on your, on your fridge. When you're brushing your teeth, when you're getting a snack, you can always remember these affirmations, build them, really put them within yourself, and understand that, listen, you are the future. Everything that you're doing, everything that I'm doing, everybody on this live, anybody that's going to see this, we are doing this not just for us. We are really, or we should be, laying the blueprint for the next generation. We should be definitely stepping this up. We're transforming the world for them to inherit. So let's make sure that they're inheriting the best version, right?
Yes, that's real. And even, that makes me think about, like, right now during COVID-19, right? There were some people that thought, oh, the world is about to shut down. No, for the people that are dreaming and believing and going after their dreams, people are on fire right now, like on fire. So as you said, nothing is impossible. And I can imagine when you're going to the schools or speaking to people, while your focus is the youth, I bet those teachers and the principals are like, tell me more, like you're reaching an even broader audience. So that actually will lead to our next hot topic of the day that I know you and I are very passionate about. So the third hot topic, which is a great transition from youth empowerment.
Women empowerment, yes. Here I go flowing again, because women empowerment is my jam. I told you that's on my playlist. It's just like track 3 and 5, right?
Right, that's right. So let me ask you real quick, for the sake of fun, what else is on your playlist? What's the R&B or the hip hop or the jazz or the gospel jam on your playlist?
Let me pull this up. I'll actually pull up my playlist. I listen to everything. As you kind of touched on, I was a musician, or I still am a musician, but I did music back in my 20s. Music is my first love. So I listen to everything. So it depends on what I'm doing, if I'm working out or if I'm just trying to catch a vibe, I'm trying to relax. But I listen to everything from Afrobeat and Afro pop to R&B to hip hop versus rap. There is a difference. I listen to classical, I listen to jazz, neo soul. So it just depends on, or if my kids take over the phone, I listen to PJ Masks, whatever it is that they want to hear, and ABC songs. But I listen to a little bit of everything, but definitely hip hop, R&B, Afrobeat. I listen to Luciano Pavarotti. I'll listen to anything from opera to India Ari. So it just depends on the mood.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Since we're talking about this empowerment playlist that we have, I figure for the people that
take that as a takeaway. Maybe you make your own Tiara empowerment playlist that we can all download and stream and listen to.
That's right. How about that? The playlist. But we gotta have the nice beats with the empowerment, make people nod and go after
motivate you.
That's right.
Get out that bed an hour early. Push yourself an hour later. Right? Yes.
That's right. That's right. I love it. So, women empowerment. This is something that you're passionate about. I'm passionate about. So let's talk about this. In particular, when we see women empowerment as two women, who are going after our dreams, we are empowered. we are empowering people. How does that make you feel to know that, like, we're empowering people by just being consistent, persistent, unapologetic, like just doing what we love, walking in our purpose? How does that make you feel?
It is empowering. It is motivating. It is reminding me that I'm doing this for a bigger purpose than just myself. So empowering the youth, like I said, is my jam. That is what I eat, live, and breathe. And out of that, I can't deny the fact that I am a woman. I'm a woman, I am a mother. And what slowly started happening was more women gravitating to the messaging and the Nyakana tribe and saying, I'm really inspired by what you're doing, because if you can do it, that means I can do it. So I love jumping on podcasts or, connecting with people for like articles or creating resources and really just knowledge sharing at the end of the day. I am in the market for a mentor. So anyone out there, reach out to me, because I am a mentor myself. And I figure if I am looking for one, I should definitely be putting the work in. So I have about 6 mentees at the moment, 3 that are younger than me, 3 that are older than me, because once again, it's all about knowledge sharing. Mm-hmm. And just because I'm giving someone a leg up, like that, we shouldn't be that way, right? Women with society, we tend to be kind of catty. We tend to be very competitive with one another. And instead, we should be competitive in our industries. We should be competitive in our skill sets, right? Not against one another, but really sharpening one another. So when you take something that is, right, so instead of going against each other, we're actually having that sharpening action. And when you have that sharpening action, now from me uplifting you and you uplifting me, we can get to where we want to sooner, faster, more efficient, with less mistakes. And at the end of the day, we build a friendship, we build a bond, and we're building a network. We're really building a sisterhood. And isn't that a beautiful thing, Tiara?
It is. It really is. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we have one life to live, right? One life to live. So why not be supportive? Why not come together versus tear each other apart? And there are some amazing women doing some amazing things in the world. We could not have a conversation without this hashtag, Mrs. Harris. How do we feel about that?
So, right, Kamala has been pulled in as Biden's VP. And regardless of your political standing, just the fact that we have a woman of color, we have a Black woman who has the potential to be in a very high seat in our administration. One, shows every young girl that she also has that potential. So that alone, just based on that alone, you're already transforming someone's potential desires and dreams because they see someone doing it. You and I both know that kids rarely listen to what you say. They pay attention to what they see, right? They've already seen a Black president in office for 8 years. So for them, it's nothing unusual. For us, it's unusual. For our parents and grandparents, it's unusual, but for them, it's the norm. So look at these new normalcies that are coming, and what great importance and what great strides it's going to make for those that are coming underneath her. So that alone, I think, is a wonderful thing. And really thinking about what it does for all women as well, saying that, our training, our education, our skill set in our history, everything that we put in on the daily basis that men historically have taken the credit for, that men historically have undermined or stolen the idea and sold it off as their own, or taken our positions because we have the same position but we're underpaid. Now is the time for change. Now is the time of transformation. We're seeing women doing it every day, changing their narrative, becoming their own CEOs. We have women that are now going to potentially be in office in positions that have been unknown to us before. We are changing the game. And that's what we need to continue to do in whatever field, like I said, whatever passion that it is that you have, just continue pushing forward and knowing that you're making that change just by example alone.
That's right. That's good. And with all due respect, like, I got to spell her name right. So I have to pull this hashtag back up.
I noticed that, but then I noticed you pulled it back and then you were tweaking it. So I wasn't going to say anything because I've got your back. I've got your back here.
I checked myself there. I said, oh, wait a minute, moving too fast here. But that's okay, though, because a woman will recognize her errors and fix them on the spot. So I'm so excited, for so many reasons. it's exciting to see a woman who is, you know, going after her dreams. It's amazing to see someone who is capable, who's has the credentials, has the education, has the respect, and to me, it's just exciting. It's an exciting time to be a Black woman. It's an exciting time to be a woman in general. So I'm really excited about this. To all of the women out there, you know, continue to go after your dreams. Don't let anybody, any man, any woman, anybody, and yourself, don't let yourself stop you from going after your dreams, because we have more and more examples. You know, like you said, when you were young, you didn't see people that came into the school. But guess what? You're going into the schools. You know, I talked about Michelle Obama last week, because I love Michelle. So
I do too. Who doesn't love Michelle? Come on. Yeah. If you don't love Michelle, you don't love yourself. Everybody loves Michelle.
That's right. So I just want to shout that out. Kudos to her for just everything that she's doing in her current position and everything that she will do. So, and shout out to all you women out there who are rocking it, the mothers, the grandmothers, the aunts, and shout out because I'm a great niece. I have a great niece as of Friday.
Congratulations.
To Tinley. I'll give her first public shout out on a Speak That Talks platform. Yes. But I want people like my great niece Tinley to know that she can be whatever she wants to be, you know? And because of women that are not afraid to go after their dreams, we will have more examples for people like Tinley to look up to. So I have to pull this out. Someone asked a question and I want us to address it. It's funny. Karen wants to know, Biggie or Tupac?
Biggie, I'm on the East Coast. So I gotta go Biggie.
So I'm Tupac. Like, I love Biggie, but I love Tupac. So it's funny. My girls and I, we have a joke where we'll say Biggie or Tupac, and we have some really good debates there. So at the end of the day, Karen, that's a great question.
Thank you, Karen.
How about this? Anna and I have Biggie and Tupac on our playlist. Okay.
I enjoy both of them, but if I had to choose, it's kind of like the Nas or Jay-Z, right? So that's a whole different conversation.
That's right. And thank you all for your comments. I see people out in the watch party. So thank you all that are tuning in. Appreciate you. I see you all out there representing various cities throughout the country. So we're going to move on to the next hot topic.
All right.
Social empowerment. Yeah. So as you all know, as we've been talking about empowerment, but don't think that empowerment is boring. Empowerment is exciting. Right? It is exciting to know that you're making a difference, or that you have the power within you to make a difference. So when I think about social empowerment, when you and I talked for the first time last weekend, I was on the phone with you, and you were actually at a peaceful protest or rally.
I was
actually earlier that day. I was on the phone with some folks that I know in the social activism space. So you and I dibble and dabble in that space a little. And there's nothing boring about that, right?
No, there is nothing boring about that. Listen, we need to use our voice. Exactly. You had called me. We're trying to talk about the details. And I'm like, Tiara, I'm at a rally right now. And she's like, what? I'm like, gun violence. And she's like, what? But no, I was at an incredible rally, and we were there to lend our voices, really have a call to action. So shout out to $1 Million Smile and to Wilner Joseph and his organization, really demanding for justice for his brother who was really murdered a few years ago, and there has still been no justice. We need to definitely speak up for our own. We need to hold those accountable in authority to make sure that proper investigations are carried out, right? So in addition to that, I've been protesting really since, this whole year. I feel like everyone's been protesting, whether they've been in the street, whether they've been using their platform socially, whether they're just having conversations in their household. Everyone's been protesting with the way of the world right now. even on June 7th, I did 2 protests that day and ended up taking like all my clips and kind of putting it in like a short documentary and just getting it out there to really inspire everyone to use their voice. And I said in the video, like, no one can actually take your voice from you, only you, if you don't use it. Now is the time to really uplift it and ask for that positive change. It's more about having that like angry mob mentality. It's about unifying, right? We need unification, not dissemination, because separated, we cannot do much, but together, unified versus that singular voice, actually having that chorus. Woo, sister, we can break some windows with that chorus when we unite our voices at all those different levels with those harmonies. Let me tell you something, and we are stronger together. And that's really what it's all about right now, making sure that we are talking and bringing a spotlight to the issues that affect us and our community, and making sure that those that we have put into certain positions, that we are holding them accountable to understand what it is that we are asking for, what we are demanding for, and making sure that those changes are made. And we can do it in a collective way. We can do it in an educated way. We don't need to just, burn things. I understand and I feel for my brothers and sisters that have been burning, or maybe that have been damaging, because maybe that is the only way that they know how to express themselves. So let me take that pain. Let me take that anger. Let me use my platform. Let's use your platform. Let's figure out a way where we can articulate those items, articulate what our issues and what it is that we're trying to change, and actually make that change happen. Let's figure out how we can sit down and have those conversations, how we can have them peacefully. But unless we unite, that won't happen. And it'll just be another news blip months ago that someone happened to see. Oh, I just so happened to see this protest. Oh, I just so happened to see that conversation happening down the street and people on the corner with posters, or it'll be yesterday's news. We have to keep our finger on that button. We have to stay consistently persistent, because if we don't speak up for the things that matter to us, what makes you think that anyone else is going to listen?
Yes, no, that's real. On the PR side of things, I've had the pleasure of working with some of the top civil rights attorneys in the country. So some major high profile PR cases with some police brutality cases and social injustice cases. And it's just, what people see on TV is one thing, but the real deal, the families impacted, the loved ones impacted, the communities impacted. And it's so deep. So, for me, it's something that it's another one of those situations when you think about those detours in life. When I was in college, I actually led a peaceful march on my college campus at Illinois State University. So the year that I pledged Delta, I led a march in honor of the Women's Suffrage March. And so I've always had a passion for this space. But a couple of years ago, I was introduced more to this world on a greater level when I started working with one of the civil rights attorneys, and it just opened my eyes. Like there's so many layers to this, and I just commend the people who are out there, whether they're protesting in the streets, whether they're protesting at home, whatever they're doing, because I feel like you don't have to be on a national platform, a global platform. You don't have to do anything. It's whatever you choose to do. So I like to always relay that message, because I think sometimes people feel like they have to do something so granular, right? Something so major, but it can be having a conversation with your loved ones.
Yes,
absolutely. Talking to your nephew or your niece, and just saying, hey, how are you feeling? What are you thinking about? Let me tell you that, you are an amazing young man or an amazing young woman. So whatever it is, I love to encourage people to know that, you can do whatever works for you.
Right.
And that's
whatever way as long as you use your voice, though. Don't be silent, right? Because if you're silent, well, then all of those that have lost their voice, lost it in vain. So whatever it is that you do, if you sing, if you march, if you dance, if you perform, if you're creative, if you write, if you sweep floors, if you're in a boardroom, whatever it is that you do, just make sure that you use your voice. That way we are speaking and making sure that we are raising our own voices. Like I said, for those that have lost it, we need to ensure that we are transforming this world and pushing things in the right direction. If not, and we're not standing up for our own and our own issues and our own injustices, no one is going to take us seriously. We're going to continue to go through this decade after decade after decade, and it's going to be 2030, 2040, 2050, the year 3000, and we are still going to be behind in this world, not just in the US, but on a global scale. And that can't be. You know your value, Tiara, right? And I hope everybody else knows their value too. All lives are valuable. So we need to make sure that we are correcting those lives are right now that are not getting that attention and getting that sensitivity and getting that advancement. So let's correct the issues. Let's make sure it's a permanent correction, once again, by unifying, by making sure that we're holding those leaders accountable, keeping our finger on that button and letting them know that we will not stop. We will not rest. And if you take me out, my sister's going to keep speaking for me. If you take her out, my grandmother's going to keep speaking for me. If you take her out, her son's going to keep speaking for her. We cannot be silent.
Because at the end of the day, you know what? We don't need any more hashtags. We just don't. And I'm going to shout out, because if we're going to say we're all about women empowerment and all those things, we're still standing behind Breonna Taylor.
Yep.
You know, we're still standing behind all of the women out there, Sandra Bland, and the list goes on and on and on and on. Because at the end of the day, when they don't get justice, none of us gets justice.
None of us gets justice. And honestly, you even touched on another hot topic, because who's standing up for us women? I see so many things on social media about protecting women and protecting Black women specifically. But I feel like now is really the time with our own empowerment that we protect ourselves. We will make sure that Breonna and Sandra's name are remembered. We will make sure that there's justice, because we're not going to forget them. Women time and time again in this history have been forgotten about. We are like the doormats, but yet we have birthed the world. So how is it that we have birthed the world, and yes, the world is turning its back on us? We need to sure that we are once again continuing those names, not forgetting the women that have unfortunately lost their lives, lost their voices, or have been put in horrible positions, and that we're making that change for them. Let us keep each other accountable, Tiara, because at the end of the day, we will make that difference. We will protect ourselves. We will hold our sisters accountable, and we will make sure that everything isn't, done in vain.
That's right. And shout out to Oprah, which is my Michelle Obama is my auntie. She just doesn't really know that.
Okay,
Oprah,
I feel that. I feel you on that.
Yeah. So shout out to Miss Oprah for purchasing billboards to help bring justice to Breonna Taylor.
There you go.
So again, whatever platform we have, whether it's big or small, just know justice will be served.
Most definitely, just.
And last but not least, we gotta vote. Gotta vote. I'll leave it at that. Hashtag.
I don't even think we need to say anything more about it. Use your voice. Gotta vote.
That's it.
Don't think it doesn't matter. That's misinformation.
That's right. All right, my sister. We are coming to the end of today's segment.
That was so quick. We should have done 2 hours.
I know, all right. We might not have had a lot of people stick with us for the 2, but we would have had a lot. Maybe, I don't know. We got a replay, so they would have caught us at the line of the replay, right? But this has been great. If nothing else, this has been very empowering, as we set out for it to be, educational, inspirational. So I want to close us out, as I love to do with every segment, with the Speak That Speed round. So this is the opportunity where every single guest that comes to the Speak That Talks platform, I will share with you and the rest of the world the 4 pillars of Speak That movement. So just like you shared the pillars of your effort, the Speak That movement pillars are: dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it.
Wow, look at that universal exchange. It almost sounds the same.
That's right.
You're tapped in.
So I would love for you to speak life over the Speak That Talks platform. In as few words as possible, I want you to break down what each pillar means to you. So we're going to go one by one. And this is just, again, this part means the world to me, because I want people to feel uplifted and empowered throughout this entire week as they go after their dreams and go after their goals. So we're going to start with dream it.
Dream it. And this may sound a little bit like my fundamentals, so if we're a little repetitive here, it's just because we are locked into that universal knowledge of exchange. So dream it. Understand that your dreams are yours. Your destiny is yours for the taking. And once again, you want to take those dreams and you really want to put them into action. Figure out what those goals are so you can actually attain them.
Believe it.
Believe it. Believing in yourself is crucial. You should be your #1 fan.
So dream it, believe it, and speak it.
Speak it. Use your voice. Speak what you want into existence. Manifest the best things in life, because guess what? Those best things in life are waiting for you. Don't allow others to convince you otherwise, or really distract you or discourage you.
Right, that's right. So dream it, believe it, speak it, and last but certainly not least, walk it.
Walk it. You got to walk it out. Walk it out, right? You walk it out. Hey, you got to walk it out. Everything that we've been speaking on this entire live, which has been incredible and uplifting and inspiring. Now it's time to take some of that motivation, take some of that fire, hopefully, that we lit under you, and walk it. Walk in your life. Stop sleeping through your life. Stop laying down and just being on cruise control. Get up and walk and actually make that change, make that dream, make that passion a reality. We are behind you. We support you. You are important.
That's right.
Yes.
There you have it, everybody. The 4 pillars of Speak That Movement: dream it, believe it, speak it, walk it, brought to you by my sister, Anna.
Thank you, Tiara. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So this has been a really, really, really amazing opportunity. I have enjoyed you greatly, and I know that the audience has as well. So as we close out the segment, any final words, any words that you want to relay to the audience?
Now is the time. I want you all to realize that your life is a gift. And to all my young people, especially that are tuning in, if anyone has told you that what you think is crazy or that you should give up on yourself, let me tell you otherwise. Your value is limitless. You are important. You are me, and I am you. I want to see you succeed. I want to see you win in life. I'm a resource for you. I am a woman of the people. You can always reach out to me, or have your parent reach out to me so I can give you some encouragement or put you in touch with people that will give you the resources to help you attain those goals and help you really walk in your dreams purposefully. I want you to remember the Nyakana way. Remember those 5 fundamental truths and live. Now is the time. We are counting on you. Please hold me accountable. I'm holding you accountable as well to live purposefully each and every day.
Boom.
Boom.
Drops the mic. So how can everybody follow you? We have your IG there.
Yes, I put it in my title. So follow me at Nyakana. You can hear everything that's going on, find out what's going on with the book. I've been dropping all of my new character illustrations, so you see what's going on with that. Soon I'll be dropping little clips from my teasers for my cartoon, which I will be actually pitching to networks in the coming months. So keep a notice on that. And any other rally or protest that I'm at, it's not hard to find me. And of course, my website, www.annanyakana.com. You can get my book. You can download free resources off of there. So parents, teachers, if you need something and you need some help and lesson plans right now with quarantine, go there. There is story mapping. There are crossword puzzles, coloring pages, everything that you need. Once again, it's all free. You can just download it and print it out and utilize it right now because it's all about the kids.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This has again been a pleasure. I feel like our paths will cross again. So let's get connected from Connecticut to Dallas, baby.
Hey, there we go. Thank you so much. Right. Blessings to you.
Nothing but the best. Blessings to you. And we'll be in touch, all right?
Most definitely.
Thank you. All right, everybody. I want to thank you. I hope that you all got something out of today's segment. It was very empowering. Always a pleasure to have a wonderful guest speaker. And listen, Speak That Talks. God gave me the vision, and I will be obedient, as I say every week. As long as you all are listening and tuning in, I will continue to bring another hot, amazing guest speaker. The next Speak That Talks, Thursdays, every Thursday at 8 p.m. The next 2, Thursday, August 20th, as well as Thursday, August 27th. So great speakers. Next Thursday, a good friend of mine by the name of Brian Jennings. Next week, after that, the ladies of a motivating love. So I'm so excited. So stay tuned for the announcements for them. And again, if you want to learn more about Tiara PR Network, Speak That Movement, or Speak That Talks, if you want to be a guest speaker, then go to www.tiaraprnetwork.com. You can check out the website and learn about everything that's out there. And last but certainly not least, shout out to the Speak That Movers, the folks that are part of the private Speak That Movement network that have declared that we will live our best life. We will not allow anything to stop us. We will go after our dreams. We will go after our goals. We will remain relentless, dedicated, and committed, because we know that when we walk in our purpose, a lot of amazing things can happen along the way. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for supporting Tiara PR Network and Speak That Movement. Thank you for listening the past 15 weeks. And thank you for those that will listen in the future. So dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. May God bless you. May God protect you. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.